Hi, my name is Jopet and I'm here to talk about my module, which is the RangeFinder module. This one here. Okay, so the RangeFinder module, as we said, it determines distance through an ultrasonic sensor. So we have, this is a zoomed in version. So we have here a trigger switch, a switch. This functions to set the trigger input. If it's up, then the trigger comes from the previous module over here. If it's down, then the trigger voltage or input or signal comes from the potentiometer, which you can see from here, right? So that will determine what your trigger distance is before the bit goes high or low. Now over here is the output mode switch. So we only use 0, 1, and 2. We don't use number 3. So if it's set to 0, it means the module has an output of high when triggered. If it's 1, it's the opposite. It outputs low when triggered. And if it's on number 2, it will output analog signal. So from 0 to 5 volts, depending on the distance. Okay. So 0 represents 0 centimeters. And then 5 represents 5 meters. So it's able to gauge distance from 0 to 5 meters. Okay, so I've set the setting such that the switch is down, which means it will take its trigger reference point from the potentiometer. And the mode is number 0, so it means it will turn high once the reference point is reached distance. So for example, so as you can see, the output turns high when the distance configured in the potentiometer is reached. So if you go to mode number 2, mode number 1, which is outputs low, so now it's high. Once it's reached, it goes low. Okay, so now we try a different approach. We're going to set our input trigger level from a slider. So the switch, we push it up to say that the input should come from the slider, and then now we're using mode 0, which means it will turn high once the distance that you set is reached. So right now your LED is on, which means the distance that you set using the slider is reached. So the slider is in the middle, it's approximately around 2 meters. Okay, that's your distance to reach. So what if I want this distance? So put your object in front, then slowly adjust your slider to a point that it will turn off the LED. Right, so it's off. So this is the distance to reach. So far away, it's okay. But once you go near, triggers. Far away, near, triggers. Okay, so that's how easy it is to set your reference point. Okay, so now we try our mode to set number 2, which is analog voltage. So the output will be from 0 to 5 volts depending on the distance. So for example, here it's 0.2 something. It should be 0.21, 0.23, something like that. And then once it goes nearer, your output voltage changes. Okay, so it's actually 0.2 something, another decimal place. So now we're going to take a look at how we are going to use the mode number 2, which is the continuous analog signal voltage out. I connected an Arduino that's programmed to turn on the output at a certain level and turn it off at a certain level. So imagine that this is a water tank and this is vertical, not horizontal, right? So the water is low. So the light is on. Imagine there's a water pump. So the water keeps pumping, 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 pumping until it reaches a certain level and it turns off. Right? Now I begin to use the water, goes down, goes down, goes down until such a level that is predetermined. Then it will turn on. Then you start pumping water again. Reaches a level, stops. Then you use water. Then turns on the pump again. So in this way, we are able to control 2 levels by using the RangeFinder module. So that's it. And I hope you vote for my module. Thank you for listening.